Hi everyone, it's Coach Fred, and today I'm going to be going over graphs of the quadratic function, but in standard form. So remember, we've been pretty comfortable with the fact that standard form of a quadratic function is in the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Now remember, this video is really just a how-to of it, and we've been investigating all these different features of the graph, so this is really just a how-to. Okay, so if I want to find the vertex, which we also now can refer to as the maximum or the minimum value, or the max or the min, we use the constants that are part of standard form to help us. So to find x, we do negative b all over 2a. And to find y, we plug that x in and solve for y. And that'll give me the coordinate of the vertex. Because remember, in this graph, I can't see the vertex just by looking at it like vertex form. The axis of symmetry is a line going through the x coordinate of the vertex. So it's going to end up being x equals negative b over 2a. All right, what's really cool here is the y-intercept. So remember, for the y-intercept, we set x equal to 0 and solve for y. If we do that, this becomes 0, this becomes 0. So I'm always going to end up with the constant. So what's really cool about the standard form equation is that I can see the y-intercept just by looking at it. So it's going to always be 0 comma c. All right, now that coordinate point, we're then going to reflect over, so we have to use the reflection. Reflect over line of symmetry. Okay, sometimes we call it a reflection point. Actually, does it open up or down? Then we always look at the value of a. If a is positive, we know that it opens up, and if a is negative, we know that it opens down. Okay, now x-intercepts. This is going to seem more familiar. Remember, to find x-intercepts, we set y equal to 0 and solve for x. So if we set ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, we can either solve by factoring or the quadratic formula or graphing right now, okay? And eventually we'll be solving using the completing the square method and the square root method together. All right, domain. Domain we know is all real numbers, so negative infinity to infinity. And for range, we look at the y coordinate of the vertex. Okay, so that's kind of how we do it. And I like you to have like this list to refer back to. So let's look at an example. So we have 2x squared minus 8x plus 6. So for my vertex, I'm going to do negative b, so negative 8 all over 2 times a. All right, so we get 8 over 4, which gives me 2. All right, now I plug that in to get y. So y equals 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 6. All right, I'm going to kind of do some of this in my head. So 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 16 plus 6 gives me negative 8 plus 6, which is negative 2. So my vertex is 2, negative 2. That tells me then that my axis of symmetry is x equals 2. My y-intercept, remember it's c, so it would be 0 comma 6. Okay, now I'm going to go down and graph that, okay? So I've got 2, 2. I've got a y-intercept of 0, 6, and I have a graph opening up. That is going to be narrower because the a value is bigger than 1, so it's going to be narrower than the parent function. And 0, 6 is my y-intercept. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if I have a axis of symmetry going right down the vertex, that means that my reflection point has to be 2 away because the axis of symmetry lies on the midpoint. And so I now have this graph that looks like this. Nice parabola. And we can see it doesn't cross the x-axis, so there are no x-intercepts. Okay. All right, my domain still negative infinity to infinity. My range, I look at the y-coordinate of the vertex, so 2, 2. Let me make sure it was 2, 2. Oh, it was 2, negative 2, sorry. 2, negative 2, I made a little mistake there, so let me fix that. That's what happens when you have to scroll. So 2, negative 2, like here. Sorry about that. So my range then would be -2, comma, infinity. All right. And my symmetry point we said then was 4, 6. All right. So now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to try numbers 1 and 2, and we will go over those, or we'll go over those as a group in class. All right. Hopefully that was a helpful video. Have a great day.